Gah. Alright, let me also put on the music. I don't know what that was. It's fine. Right. Let's get this going. Just while I set it up. Okay. So now we move this over here. And then pop this up. Pop this up. Yo! How goes it? I am just now trying something new, y'all. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday. I don't think it's Sunday for anyone anymore. I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's not Sunday. Hello, welcome on in. Today, I thought it'd be cool if I just took a chance and tried something new to check out the new ID we've got going on. Let's see if I check properties here. Yep, okay, that's what I want. So, you're in Contempt and all of the ID. Dude, I have not given it any look whatsoever yet. I plan on making it, get out of here, fucking sound effect tool. I plan on making an entire video as I normally do, but I thought, you know what? Let's enjoy ourselves. And I can already see, we've got a new kind of tremor to work with. The idea is not out yet. The kit is what's out. That is all. So, as usual, I'm just taking a look at the kit. I don't think it could be particularly useful with this one. Cat inflation is already hard enough. Let's see. I've literally not gone over it. So I thought it'd be fun to just read it out, see where we go, take some notes, and then use that to work out just how I should feel about it, you know? Let me just do one thing. By the way, I'm streaming. This was impromptu, so don't feel forced to come. Alright, but I've been excited. I've been wanting to see, like, more of the non-E.G.O Conto 8 IDs coming out, and thought, you know what, if it's gotta be anyone, N-Corp, why not? You know, Conto 8's our first really good look at IDs, or rather, fighting anyone in N-Corp, and being able to see them with the E.G.O gear is probably one of the best ideas Project Moon could have come out with. Alright, so I got my coffee. Let's just read this out. So here's how I tend to go about it with these IDs. First off, let me give you a quick sweep and glance, and I'll turn off the waiting music while we get instead some, how about something more comfy? How's about we go into, it's a waiting room, so Warp Train. The art does look good. This is probably one of my favorite Project Moon style arts I've seen in a long ass while. I'm so happy with it. One last thing, by the way, let me just do this. TTS is off. This is short, quickie stream. There we go. Pin message. Let me just open up a Stream Deck. That's the last thing I really want to do. And set this to loop stop. There we go. All right. So first off, let's take a quick sweeping look at this. We've got Envy, Wrath, and Lust alongside a skill 4. That's not too terribly surprising. Lust was meant to be a part of it. I'm a little surprised that since this is a Tremor ID, there's no Sloth whatsoever. Oh wait, there's a 5th skill. Oh, this shit has 6 skills. Okay, that's interesting. Guess you can say you haven't gazed at it. Oh yes, a big stare with my wettest eyes possible. Wrong view. Oh, that's the thumbnail. Sorry guys, when I do something quick, sometimes I just fuck up the view. Okay, let me just get something else here. That should do it. Okay, let's see. So, we already know basic ass guard? All right, sure. All right, so I want to come back to that. That's our dessert. That's our dessert. Let's have our appetizer first. So, let's start with the different statuses, just to give ourselves a teaser. This one gives us Tremor Hemorrhage, which might be our, what, 9th, 10th different tremor setup now? I think this might very well be the 10th different kind of tremor. Let's see, we've got on Tremor Burst, take less damage equal to the sum of potency and lose bleed count. When hit by skills that trigger Tremor Burst, raising its stagger threshold. And the rest is the same because it reduces the count, same way as normal Tremor does. So it's kind of to bleed what Tremor Scorch was to burn. Okay. Now I can get down with that. Sure. It's a little generic, but you know what? Nothing wrong if we want basic, like, you know, Blemmer. What do we want to call it? Treed? I kind of like the sound of treed support. That sounds worse. Alright, let's see. Next we have gaze, which is what I'm more curious about. Oh wait, did I set the Stream Deck? Stream Deck should be audible for you guys, yeah? Trevor thinks it's LGBT+. Hey man, just because it's after June doesn't mean you can't make the effort, right? Alright, we're at gaze now. This is the one I've been really curious about because it's kind of like Lantern from the Yi-Song ID, but it's meant to be like, it's meant to punish them for targeting you rather than just buff you. Max stack is 7, take and deal more damage from it against Ryoshu for every X stack of gaze. This is just pulled right out of Joao Juan's passive, I remember checking that out. On death, transfers to this unit's ally, either without or with the least contempt or gaze. Okay, so interesting. I assume that you would inflict gaze. So this is something that Ryoshu puts on herself and adds to an ally. This is something that would be put on the enemy. Okay, cool. I like how this makes it so you can modify a tremor team based on the enemy's resistances. I'm interested to see how that works. At X stacks, probably 5 or 7, convert this effect into Contempt next turn. Okay, cool. And then lastly, we have Contempt. So with enough gaze, you get Contempt, take and deal less damage from and against Ryoshu. So it's like the opposite, which is what we had for her E.G.O, which we will need to look out for. Targets with Contempt cannot gain gaze. On death, transfers to this unit's ally, just like gaze does. This effect does not activate if this unit was killed during the skill attack cascading gaze of all underneath Contempt. We're gonna have to look at that. Turn end expires, then this unit gains gaze next turn, so it kind of brings it into a loop. So you stack gaze in order to up the damage one takes and deals, and then Contempt to lower it later. Okay. Reverb is still the best tremor. Reverb is like the original when it comes to these. I still think that making it base damage is simplest and boring, but damn if it isn't effective, right? Let's see. I do think Tremor could do with more support, though. Tremor's one of those ones that always gets, like, a drip feed of it throughout every single season, except for, like, Season 4, with when TKT came out. But other than that, it's like, it never seems to get the full attention, right? Wondering how this ID synergizes with the E.G.O? We'll be looking at that a bit today. I want to look at how this synergizes with Yi-Song and with the E.G.O. So let's move on now to the passives. Starting off strong with shit I let... Wait. No, this is different. I thought it was shit I let my hand slip. No. Shit's hand I let slip? Sure, why not? On against enemies, inflict gaze. Okay, so this is just a first passive. If memory serves, all but the last passive are free, right? No, but this one... this one's a combat start one. No, I still think it follows the rule. All but the last passives are free. So only this one's... Let me show everyone something very interesting. I assume is the one that needs E.G.O resources to work with. If anyone can give me an example of something that worked differently, let me know, but I think that's it. Maybe that's referring to Yuzuki, Ryoshu's daughter. Very possible, yeah. Let's see. On it against enemies, inflict gaze. Makes sense. If this unit has Gaze of Contempt, inflict more gaze, which I assume, yeah, that's your own passive. Interesting that Gaze of Contempt itself doesn't appear to be here, which I would assume would be under a third page. Let me just double check to make sure there isn't a third page. Go over here. No? No, that's it. It's just the two. Okay, sure, whatever. That's from the E.G.O. Oh, okay, gotcha. You know, let me load up Limbus while I'm here. And then L. And I'll make sure to mute it. But then we can just pull up anything we need to in the meantime. You might hear doubled audio for a sec. Let's see. When hit by an enemy. Oh, hello, Limbus. Hello, tiny Limbus window. You saw me when I was making my Mirror Dungeons run, weren't you? Yes, indeed. Okay. When hit by an enemy, inflict gaze against the attacker. Okay, now this audio should be coming through soon. If this unit has Contempt of the Gaze, which again is from the E.G.O, when hit by the attacker's final coin, inflict X% of damage dealt by that final coin, sloth damage. So this is when hit by the attacker's final coin, which, if memory serves, final coins are the ones that remain. No, it's not. Final coins are the ones that are broken first. So if it's the final coin, that means that she got hit with a fully unopposed attack, or just unbreakable coins, right? That's how I'm reading this. So you fucked up, and that's your reward. You have a special ability for that. The Smoke War JPEG, yeah, do I have to download again? Doesn't look like it, that's fine. Here, let me just set audio on music to nil. You guys can have your funny sound effects, and then we can just continue on as we were. All right, we'll pull up Contempt DAW just for when it's necessary, you know? Okay, edit team, E.G.O, Contempt DAW. We'll just have that on deck when it's ready. If this unit used its base attack skills to consume Gaze or Contempt on an enemy, next turn, gain enemy's Gaze consumed divided by X, plus enemy's Contempt consumed times Y, Gaze of Contempt. So Contempt, I mean, it's gonna be 1, unless this gives Contempt. We'll just check for that. Look for the word Contempt, not Gaze of Contempt, but Contempt. I do not see the word Contempt. It would appear that the only way to gain Contempt is through this ID. And since the max stack is 1, it's enemy's Contempt times 1. Actually, no, it's enemy's Contempt times the number, but we know that this number is 1. That's it. To consume Gaze of Contempt on enemy, next turn, gain enemy's Gaze consumed. So we know it'll consume it at least, huh? Okay. Welcome, welcome. Oh, they fixed it? Fantastic. Grasp, that forbids failing. Long story short, this is how you inflict Gaze. This is how you get more damage when you're hit by an attack after you use the funny E.G.O, and this also has an extra damage proc for when you consume Gaze of Contempt. Cool, awesome, awesome. You Contempt when you have 7 Gaze from the E.G.O and the ID. You do Contempt when you have that, but there's a difference between Contempt of the Gaze and Contempt in general. We gotta keep that in mind. Contempt is the one from the ID, Contempt of the Gaze is from when you do this. Grasp, that forbids falling. When staggered, gain protection and Contempt of the Gaze. Okay, so when I see Contempt of the Gaze, it really does make it feel like it's just anti-Pride Month, or at least it's being targeted by Pride Month. God damn it. So you gain protection and Contempt of the Gaze. Contempt of the Gaze gives you 7 protection straight out the gate. So you're getting like at least 8 protection, which I assume is meant to look like how it did when you were fighting the N-Corp bozos back in Conto 8, which is pretty cool. On death, apply the following effects against 3 enemies with the most Gaze or Contempt, in descending order and focus encounters or parts. Inflict bind next turn, inflict bleed and bleed count, inflict tremor and tremor count. So it's in descending order. So bind is against, I assume, the enemy with the most Gaze or Contempt. Bleed and bleed count is next, tremor and tremor count is final. Okay, that's interesting. A little unwieldy, but sure, whatever, that's fine. Let's see. Limbus is woke? Hey, put it on the woke finder. I mean, I think it is. I think it's perfectly fine. I think it's actually just a game that's trying to tell its stories, but fuck it. If you find anything with it that helps you get through and makes you feel more comfortable with yourself, by all means. We all know Ishmael Quick had something going on. Let me show everyone something very interesting. So this one, if it follows the pattern with passives, is going to require E.G.O resources. Let's see where this goes. Combat start, N-Corp E.G.O, Fell Bullet, E-Songs, target readjustment fire skill gains the following effects. Okay. Before using the skill, if N-Corp E.G.O Contempt Ryoshu has Contempt of the Gaze, so if you got it from the E.G.O, and can use her base skills, use I Shall Fire / anytime against Ryoshu. Okay, we saw this in the trailer. Let's see. Yeah, no, it's just like the spreadsheet. I think that's really funny. I might do a little stream, like, analyzing stuff on that spreadsheet, but it's just like playing the game like the Is It Woke game, because that just seems really stupid. Before using the skill, if the skill's main target is an N-Corp E.G.O Contempt Ryoshu, and if she can use her base skills, Ryoshu uses her skill 1 as an unopposed attack against the main target. Indiscriminate, skill 1 deals less damage. The skill does not kill the main target. That does not seem like it's that good. For using the skill, if N-Corp E.G.O Contempt Ryoshu has Contempt of the Gaze and can use her base skills, use I Shall Fire / anytime. Let me check on something here, y'all. it hasn't been that long since we got the Yi Song ID, so I could probably pull up the kit relatively easily. When did we get that? Like, around the time we got Lei Hang, yeah? So, like, June? Probably May? I mean, it would be May or June, right? Let me just scroll up to be sure. It looks like it was before Lei Hang, so let's see. Before Lei Hang, it's prep for the Yi Song Lei Hang skill. Let's see. Let's also throw this up. Ishchun. The fuck is that? No. We're not that chill today. Let's do Wuthering Opus. I don't have Wuthering Opus, apparently. Okay, then, yes, Odd Theme. Let's see, where is Yi Song? I think I missed him. You passed it? Okay. Yeah, it's a 6 a.m. stream. We're not going to be here for too long. They said confidently as ever when they're always here for at least 40 to 50 minutes. At least. Oh, wait. Yi Song, so it should be here. Okay, let's pull this up. Actually, wait, what am I doing? I have the ID kit. I don't think I have the ID, but I've got the kit. Like, it's literally in Limbus. What am I doing? Go to the dispensary. And then identities. Oh, this doesn't loop. Okay, well, that's whatever. I can change that really easily. Yesod to loop. There we go. All right, let's see. So skill 3 is target readjustment fire, punch through, frontline support. Is this a new skill? If the skill, wait. Use I shall fire / anytime against Ryoshu. Oh, it's her skill. Wait. Oh, that is cool. She gives that to Yi Song? Wait, that's kind of baller. Hold up. Okay. That's actually a really cool idea. Really fucking dumb. But I'm here for it. Okay. Now that we know it's a skill that she gives him, let's just skip over to that, okay? So it'll be I shall fire anytime against Ryoshu. Fire, YS. Yep. Prioritizes N-Corp E.G.O Contempt a Ryoshu. Gain attack weight for every X torn memory on self. Okay, for every X. So let's say, if I take a look at the skill 3, gains +1 attack weight for every 3 torn memory, max 2. So if this is upgraded, it might be 2. But for now, we know that he can get up to 4. I'm gonna assume 4 or 5. Let's say 4 or 5. Gain coin power for every X poise on self. Let me just put this over to the side here so that we've got a good reference. Coin power for every 5 poise on self. So this could be, I mean, it's usually 2, right? It usually caps out at 2, but it could be less. I'm gonna assume this is upgraded. And then if this, let's see, gain poise for every torn memory on self. That's pretty normal. Lose torn memory on self X SP after the attack. So this is not like a minus coin situation. He's still gonna be our plus coin bozo bitch. If this unit had X torn memory at combat star, lose them all and heal SP on self. That's just part of the ID. That's fine. Unbreakable coin, same shit. Coin deals damage only against the main target. And then this coin deals damage only against the sub-targets if the first coin wasn't a critical hit. And if N-Corp E.G.O Contempt a Ryoshu survived, 1 random sub-target takes damage. So if Ryoshu survives and it's a crit, then you still deal damage to all of them. That's pretty good. You don't have to kill her, which I think is the point. And if we go back to Ryoshu's own setup, it's when she has Contempt of the Gaze. So remember, Contempt of the Gaze is when Ryoshu has that, like, 7 protection setup. So she's only gonna take, like, 30% damage, maybe even less if she has her other passive active. So remember that she's not gonna get super duper hurt by this. Let's see. And then if we go back, deal more damage for every torn memory on self, deal more damage on critical hit for every poise potency, deal more damage on critical hit for every torn memory, deal more damage for every 1% missing HP on the main target. So yeah, this does a good chunk, and then it also activates her skill 1, which I'll just check over really quickly. Let's see. Frey is Frey? Yeah, it's Frey is Frey. It's whatever floats your boat, dude. I do not care. If target has Gaze or Contempt, gain Clash power. This doesn't look like it's... This looks like it's bonus damage. So what'll happen is that... Felbull E-Song's target readjustment fire skill gains the following effects. So remember, target readjustment fire becomes the skill 3. So the skill 3 gets replaced with the skill 4. So if you use the skill 3 while Ryoshu is like jonesing or like on a low from using the Gaze E.G.O and has Contempt of the Gaze, and you use the skill 3, that'll replace it with the skill 4. And then she will also attack with a free skill 1. Let's see. The skill 1 deals less damage and the skill does not kill the main target. That might just be like tenderizing it for Yi-Song's sake as well. That's very... I think that's very supportive, funnily enough. Because I want to say that Yi-Song gets some kind of buff on kill. Is that correct? I guess I could just check it here. Passives, passives, passives. This is just a single page one. It doesn't... Well, let's see. And lose all to memory. Killed an ally with an attack. Gain felled bullet. Oh, hold up. If this unit killed an ally... Oh, it's an allied unit. So no, it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's just to help him get the kill, which... Fine, whatever. That's whatever. Unless this skill... Does it give you bonuses on kill? No. So it's just extra damage. That's fine. That's fine. The fell bullet buff? I think from the way I'm seeing it... If this unit killed an allied unit... no, because this is using the fell bullet E.G.O. This is just on the skill 4 or skill 3. I think it's either the 3 skill 1 or the skill 4. I think so. I think that's it. So, okay, let's just move on. So, okay, we know that this heavily synergizes with both the Yi-Song ID and the Contempt E.G.O. So that was a given. I guess I'm just surprised at how much it can synergize, because to unlock this skill 4, you deadass need both of those. That's not a suggestion. Although I will say it's nice that they have the Yi-Song icon in there. But let's see, next. Let's see. Let's go on to the skills now. Her own skills, not the skills that she gives to Yi-Song. Let's change this up. If target has Gaze or Contempt, gain Clash power. Actually, no. Let's go back. Let's go to the top. I like to start from here, the defense skill. To grasp, combat star of this unit does not have Contempt of the Gaze, and at X plus sum of Gaze on all enemies, or Y plus sum of Contempt on all enemies, gain... Oh, I'm wrong! Wait a second! Hold on, she has a way to get Contempt of the Gaze! If this unit has Contempt of the Gaze, gain final power. Wait, is there another way to get Contempt of the Gaze? Hold up. Is there a way that she can just turn Pride Month against her? I can't unhear it, man. I can't fucking unhear it. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not seeing Contempt of the Gaze anywhere else. I think it's only in the defensive skill. From staggering, double checking. Let's see, when staggered. Oh, you're right, and gain it. Okay, never mind. No, you're right. So this does get Contempt of the Gaze. So you don't necessarily need this one. You don't need the E.G.O, but having the E.G.O will help. Because once again, for those coming in, Gaze of Contempt becomes Contempt of the Gaze. But you can get it when staggered for a turn, or you can get it by using the defensive skill. So you know what? Cool. That makes it so much more accessible. Let's see, if it does not have Contempt of the Gaze, and at X plus sum of Gaze on all enemies, which Gaze is applied. Gaze is applied when hitting enemies, and when hit by an enemy. So whenever there's an interaction, so on solos, that's gonna happen pretty fast. Let's see, or Y plus sum of Contempt, which Contempt is, what builds up. Gain Contempt of the Gaze. If this unit has it, gain final power. When hit using the skill, inflict bleed count. So you would mainly want to get Contempt of the Gaze to protect Ryoshu. I could call it COTG to make it, based on Ryoshu, but I think saying Contempt of the Gaze is just so much more fun. Let's see. Let's also just double check. Other than protection, one of this unit's slots gains plus 20 aggro. Oh, so they just get drawn over to her as well. That's kind of great. So you'll get Contempt of the Gaze on Ryoshu, and then Yi-Song comes in with the offensive support. Because the downside of it is you're getting 7 damage down. Okay, I see you. I see you, I see you, I see you. Okay. So then, if it has Contempt Gaze, gain final power, not clashable, by the way. When hit while using the skill, inflict bleed count against the attacker. Bleed count can be handy. Getting it on attack, sure, why not? Okay, let me just process this. There are 3 statuses to keep in mind. Gaze, Contempt, and Contempt of the Gaze. So, again, just to reiterate for my own sake. On hit, or when hit by an enemy, you inflict Gaze. When it gets up to 7, because I'm pretty sure it's 7, Gaze becomes Contempt, and you take and deal less damage from it against Ryoshu. But when you get staggered, you get Contempt of the Gaze. So when you get staggered or when you're guarding, which means you have to get hit, when you are hit enough, not when you win clashes, not when you hit. When you are hit enough, you get Contempt of the Gaze, which means protection. Which on its own, doesn't seem like it does a lot. Gaze seems like it's going to get you a lot more power for a bit and then be reset, which is not terrible. But still. Her bad end idea is gonna talk in full, overly verbose sentences? Very possible, yeah. Alright, let's see. Maybe it'll make more sense once I go over the skill 4, or the skill 3 too. Also, this is just deadass called the skill 4, by the way. Okay. External effects cannot trigger the skill to be reused. Cool, that's fine. That means it's gotta be good, right? I'll just put this on the side here. Prioritize targeting enemies with Gaze or Contempt as sub-targets. Cascade Gaze of Awe underneath Contempt. Deals less damage against sub-targets. Interesting. If there's just a single target, deal more damage. Okay. Or focus encounters apart, sure. Gain coin power for every Blemmer on the main target, sure. Deal more damage for every Blemmer on the main target, deal more damage for every Exum of Gaze. Cool. I assume this could get up to like 5 or 6 coin power, by the way, just based on how Ishmael's skill 3 works. After attack, consume Gaze or Contempt on all targets that were hit, which I believe, if you're gonna use its base attack skills, which I assume includes the 3-2, gain Gaze of Contempt. Oh, so you can gain Gaze of Contempt. So, when you get Gaze of Contempt, that will just up your damage as well on the next turn. Interesting. Okay. Unbreakable coin, if target has Contempt, deal more damage. Which is odd because Contempt is meant to take and deal less damage. So I guess it offsets it? Kinda strange, but okay. Let's see. Inflict Tremor and Tremor count, bleed and bleed count, trigger amplitude conversion, and then trigger Tremor burst. So we know this does several attack weight, and it does not gain or lose attack weight, which implies to me that it's like a base attack weight 2 or attack weight 3 skill. That's fair. Sure. This doesn't seem too impressive yet. I'm hoping once I see the full picture it makes more sense. Let's just look at Awe, Contempt, and then go back to the passives. Actually, I'll go over the rest of the skills. Why not? If target has Gaze, this skill inflicts more bleed and tremor potency. One last check, just for interpretation's sake. Turn end. So if you get 7 Gaze, then it will remain that way until turn end. Just keep that in mind. So it doesn't change to Contempt as soon as it gets to 7. You'll still get it. Pretty sure Contempt increases damage from and decreases damage dealt. Contempt means take and deal less damage from and against. So Gaze is an overall plus to damage. Contempt is an overall minus to damage on both sides. That's the main idea. Skill 4, not skill 3-2. This is E.Songs. If target, at the end, I'll summarize everything. If target has Gaze, skill inflicts more bleed and tremor potency. At X plus sum of Gaze on all enemies, or at Y plus sum of Contempt, activate this one. Okay, so that's how you proc the skill 3-2. You've got to get a certain amount of Gaze or Contempt. Fine. Gaze of Awe, that one. Gain coin power for every Blemmer on target. Deal more damage for every Blemmer on target. Sure. Inflict the statuses. Deal more damage for every X Gaze on target. Inflict Gaze. On hit without crackering, trigger... Why the fuck did I say crackering? I get fucking speak these days, dude. Okay, deadass. I've had my headphones on so often that's actually affected my jaw, and now I can't, like... my mouth is actually starting to hurt. I need to take these things off, and it's affecting my speech. Let's see. Deal more on hit without cracking, trigger amplitude conversion into hemorrhage, bleed tremor. Trigger tremor burst. Cool, okay. And then skill 2, how often do we trigger tremor burst? Target has Gaze of Contempt, gain Clash power, gain coin power for every Blummer on target, inflict Tremor, inflict Bleed, inflict Tremor count, inflict Bleed count, inflict Gaze. Target has X plus Tremor count, trigger Tremor burst. Okay, so cool. It will inflict a Tremor burst based on count. So what's interesting to me, let's see, less damage equal to... This does not appear to be a method to build a lot of Tremor potency, by the way. Because it's dealing damage based on Tremor potency and Bleed potency. Tremor Scorch was similar in that it was based on burn potency. But if I look here, she's inflicting some Tremor, inflicting Tremor count, inflicting some Tremor, but she doesn't inflict a lot of Tremor potency. It's mostly count. So I think her strat is she wants to burst more often with a large amount of Bleed and Bleed count than Tremor. Just keep that in mind. But okay. Nice to have an Unbreakable Coin on the skill too. It doesn't have an, crackless based effect, so you're still gonna inflict Gaze, you're still gonna inflict Tremor Burst. That's nice when you have it. Target has Gaze or Contempt, gain Clash power, gain coin power for every Bleed or Tremor on target. Very simple stuff. Okay. So if we take a step back now that we've taken a look at all the skills, let's see, let me just, let's get something with more energy up in here. Sure. Cool. What does this all mean? What do we all want to do with this? So with this, I think the main idea is that we want to get her, with any ID, we generally want to get her over to getting her fancy status up, which in this case is Tremor Hemorrhage, and then get her to using her skill 3-2 and skill 4. How do you do that? Obviously, you have E.G.O. Cool. But that's for the skill 4. With the skill 3-2, you want to inflict Gaze and Contempt as much as possible. How do you do that? You hit often and you get hit often. So how do you do that? Do you just lose? Do you just let that happen? Because you could use to grasp and get Contempt of the Gaze so that you take less damage. But I feel like this is a slow burn over time because you are going to inflict Gaze very slowly. So I don't think this is one of those like Heisho style IDs where you can just use the defensive skill and go off. Like, you would get your Bolus or your Mao branch like up your speed stat and then proc everything by having, a lot of haste more than anything else. That's how you do that. With this one, it's very intentional that you are meant to just slowly build that up over time. And I would say you might even want to save your Awe Contempt until later. Because you have two 2-coin skills, which are going to do well to inflict it. You might also, if I take a look here, you might want to let yourself get protection from stagger. Stagger thresholds are going to matter a lot on this one, by the way, which... Sorry, if I just take a screenshot of this here... This is a wild-ass stanced-up position. Like, she is kneeling so goddamn hard. Like, I kind of want to see a drawing of this, just like an entire vertical block, kind of like Miku, but with only legs. That's kind of fucked up. It's Ryoshu, but it's only torso. Anyway. Sorry, I'm breaking this down in my head right now. Let's say that we also use the E.G.O. Hold on, give me a second. I also want to bring up Case Contempt is from first pass of an E.G.O. It is, yes. Let me just also bring up Notepad. Because I'm still going to make a video of this as well. New tab. Okay. So, Ryoshu wants Gaze. Can I up the font? Can I up the font on this? Let's see. No, fuck off. I just want to increase the font size, please. I guess not. Do I have to zoom in? It's fine. We'll just put it up here like this. Ryoshu wants Gaze to be applied to enemies. And then if we bullet point it, Gaze is applied through... Ryoshu wants Gaze 2025. Good for her. Yeah, exactly. She wants the Gaze. Kanto 9, she's going to find a new mom to raise her kid with. Through hitting and being hit. No shortcuts. Because if I look at this, it's literally just getting Gaze of Contempt. I guess technically, if you use Contempt Talk quickly, then you could shortcut it. We haven't even checked out the E.G.O resources for Contempt. Ah, hold on. Wrath, Lust, Pride, Envy. So the only one we're missing here is Lust, right? Pride, Envy... Wait. No! No, Wrath is here. Why would I say we're missing Lust? She has everything. Like, if you have Yi Song, she has Pride. And Yi Song is already gonna have Pride, because that's on his counter. If you really want, you can even use his Clashful counter with that, which is pretty damn good. Okay, that works, that works. That's fine. Corrosion gives 7? Gain 7 Gaze of Contempt? No, that's true. But that's really expensive. So you could technically get more Gaze of Contempt and Contempt of the Gaze later, but eh. Because remember, because you'll gain it this turn and next turn. No shortcuts. This takes time to build. Needs Gaze and Contempt to reach using the skill 3-2. Okay, fair enough. Use Superbia? You could, but you can only use that once per day, so I feel like that's always just a given. But you never really, like, say, yeah, that's the main strat, you know? That's like when you got the budget. When you can afford to, right? Needs Gaze and Contempt to reach using skill 3-2, and then to use the funny skill 4, she needs Contempt of the Gaze. So, needs Contempt of the Gaze to give Yi Song a skill 4. And then bolded list. To do that happens when she is staggered, or if we look at this, the 2 grasp, or when using guard after applying enough gaze or contempt, right? There we go. Are the statuses we missed on Tremor is syncing plus Tremor ID? I don't really know how to read that. A status we missed on Tremor is syncing plus Tremor. Oh, like, are we missing a syncing plus Tremor ID? I don't think we have one. I think you're right. So, I'm trying to think, because, like, some IDs want to have a way to apply a lot of damage and power. What is tricky about this to me is that she seems very much at home with a bleed team. Almost like a Tremor bleed support. More than a Tremor support, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think this is very good for Tremor in general. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Oh, Molar, Ishmael, you're right. She is Tremor syncing. I'd say more syncing than Tremor, but it's up there. So you do inflict bleed count, but this is more poise. Inflict bleed and bleed count instead. I don't know why I'm reading this. I could just take a look at Yi Song's. Like, next goal here is to figure out where would you slot this in other than, you know, with Yi Song? Or is that just for fun? Tremor's just the icing on the cake, yes. Because how much bleed does he apply? If the first one killed an ally, inflict 5 bleed and 2 bleed count instead? I mean, that's just not gonna happen. Because we can inflict more bleed and bleed count. She really just wants bleed more than anything else. Because you don't have to have a certain amount of Tremor on the enemy to do that. You can just, you know, amplitude convert that into hemorrhage. You don't need 10 like with Time Moratorium on Dawn. So then, seems to be more of a bleed / custom build. Custom build faction ID more than a Tremor ID. But like, here's what's just not making a lot of sense to me. I think you more so want to get the skill 4 than the skill 3 too. This feels more like it's meant to be a buff to Yi Song over anything else. So now I gotta read Yi Song, I guess. Hold up. Okay, so I don't want to like get too far off track, but I feel like just to sum things up, we have this ID, inflicts gaze and contempt. Happens whenever you interact. You're going to get more aggro on her when you get Contempt of the Gaze on her. That means Yi Song is gonna swoop in and deal damage. But it seems like this move, because it only does more damage, not only, but it does more damage when the enemy has Contempt, which I might be focusing on too much, but whatever. and is only going to attack one target is not meant to deal a lot of damage. This does not seem like an ID that's meant to deal a lot of damage. It's meant to support bleed and support Yi Song. Unless the numbers prioritize that, that's where it's going. Seems to support Yi Song and bleed more than anything. Yeah, looks like you want to build up Gaze Contempt, Defend, and Yi Song S3 same turn, follow up with Ryoshu S3 too. Let me check on the follow up, because you might be right about that. Because like, when would you want to use this? Prioritizes targeting enemies with the Gaze Contempt to sub-targets. Deals less damage against sub-targets if there's just single target, because she wants to focus. Gain coin power for every bleed plus tremor on the main target. Wait a second, hold on. Hold on, my brain is working. Gain coin power, deal more damage for X, bleed plus tremor on the main target. Deal more damage. Wait. Wait. Because she makes me weak in the knees, that's why she's tremor. Honestly, I will say they designed this art in a way where Project Moon only could make an ID that fucking just dripped out. I get why people are attracted to this one, and it's not even because of conventional fan service. It's just rule of cool, and I love that. This is absolutely my style. Okay, so hear me out. What if? She has that shit on? Yes. What if Ryoshu is about attacking a main target while Yi Song is about damage spread? Right? Right? So like, because Ryoshu will do more power against a single target based on Blemmer, which means that you will deal more damage. Contempt, I think this little damage here, this buff here, is more about offsetting the damage loss on Contempt, triggers it into Tremor Hemorrhage, and then deals the burst. This is also a single coin, so it might just be a single hit, you know? I feel like that's it. Still find the cross sacrifice in the tremor in the trailer hilarious. I agree. I feel it's the same way. Oh, hold up. Don't mind that. So let's see. So let's take a look at Yi Song now. Or I guess this skill once more. So we attack Ryoshu. Ryoshu probably has anywhere from 7 to 8 protection on her, so she is fine. Gain poison or torn memory on self. Don't worry about this if you have more torn memory, you just want to get a lot of it. We just want to make sure it crits. I could go for a Subway sandwich right now. We just want to make sure this crits. And then, the 7 Tremor Souls are becoming real. We're at like 9 or 10 at this point. This coin deals damage only against the sub-targets, enemies. If the first coin wasn't a critical hit, one random sub-target takes damage. So you want to get a crit, deal more damage for every torn memory, deal more damage on critical for every poise potency, deal more damage on critical hit for every torn memory, deal more damage for every 1% of missing HP on the main target. So here's what I'm thinking. The entire purpose of the ID is to get to Yi Song's skill 4 more than it is to get to Ryoshu's. Just got counter or skill 1? Yeah. Ryoshu's skill 3-2. That's how I'm reading this. Again, how does this support it? This feels kind of like an obligatory 1 focus down counter. Ryoshu skill 3-2 may be powerful, but appears to be more obligatory and focused on single target damage, plus hemorrhage application. Did I misspell hemorrhage? Does it need 2 R's? Yeah, it needs 2 R's and an H. What's with the extra H, man? Cause yeah, this doesn't feel like it's stupid powerful unless the numbers are huge. So if you crit on Ryoshu with Fellable, it activates AoE. Pretty much, yeah. Let's take another look at Yi Song just to check his passives. This is very simple. Fell Bullet. Gain Fell Bullet the rest of the turn. Oh, wait. No, it's only on an allied unit, so we're not gonna get this with Yi Song. I mean, like, ugh. Let's take another look at the video, though. Just because. How about Project Moon official? Guys, let's go on the bus, guys. We're about to see Kraus get killed relentlessly. Okay. So let me go back over here. I don't think the audio is going to play, but I can change that. Let's see. Open this up. Let me just change my browser view. Browser. Properties. This might get a little loud, guys. Just a heads up. Here we go. Make sure this plays. Okay. Bro, what is this quality? Don't put it at 480p. Get that 1080p shit going. Let's just skip over to Kraust. Okay, here we go. Let's see. We've already seen... So, by the way, just gonna point this out. This appears to be the skill 3. The standard skill 3. This inflicts tremor hemorrhage on the last coin. This is the skill 3 too. No unfocused volley. Looks like it has a base 3 attack weight. 3 attack weight? None of this needs that much. Now we have her going for an enemy. That's the free skill 1. That is Yi Song doing work. And then you're attacking an allied unit. Oh, wait a second. So then you're attacking Kraust again. Hold on a second here. This is interesting. Hold on. Something I feel like I've missed here is that you kill Kraust, right? And then he, you know, attacks Ryoshu. Why does he attack Ryoshu? You mark an ally for death. Wait, what? Hold on. You can't set resolution at a default type. Is Contempt all Ryoshu rupture count positive? It's not a rupture unit, dog. I don't know what to tell you. That last one was for skill 4. She stabbed Kraust. Yeah. Okay. So let's go back. She stabbed Kraust and then Yi Song shot them. Okay. So let's go back to this. Pull this back up. Because I don't want to miss this. So hold on. So Contempt of the Gaze, you're recovering from stagger, right? Before using the skill, if the skill's main target isn't N-Corp, E.G.O Contempt Ryoshu, and she can use her base skills, if the skill's main target is not Contempt Ryoshu, if it's not, that's it. Okay. Before using the skill, she uses it as an unopposed attack against the main target. I get it. It doesn't kill. She'll do unopposed. So the unopposed isn't against the enemy. It's against an ally. So unopposed skill 1 is for the enemy, or is for the ally, so that it's tenderized for Yi Song to kill. Okay. And then if I look here, right? Let's see. Combat start. Yi Song's target. So wait. It's not just if she gets Contempt of the Gaze that this changes. If she is in the field and Yi Song's in the field, he just gets a different skill 3. Wait. Okay, that changes things. So then, prioritizes N-Corp E.G.O Contempt Ryoshu. So it prioritizes it. But then hold on. Wait. Before using the skill's main target isn't N-Corp Contempt Ryoshu. So then how do you get this to happen? Because, skill 3 gets a better time getting the kill requirement. Let's see. Here's what's confusing me though. Maybe someone can show me this. Can use your base skills, use Artificial Fire. Oh, I get it. Oh, wait. No, so it's still when she has Contempt of the Gaze. I'm wrong about that. She still needs Contempt of the Gaze to get the skill 4 going. Okay, I see it. Okay, no. I'm getting it now. Okay, so here's how it works. So let's ignore this bullet point for a second. Let's just, green marker this out, okay? So let's say that we only have this bullet point. Target readjustment fire gains the following effects. Before using the skill, if the skill's main target isn't N-Core, isn't Ryoshu, and if she can use her base skills, Ryoshu gains her skill 1. So, let's say Yi Song S3 will first get... Yi Song S3 changes in that Ryoshu will... God damn it. Will attack an ally before it's used. Then Yi Song will attack. But if Ryoshu has Contempt of the Gaze... Sorry, went down the wrong pipe. Then he uses the S4 on Ryoshu and not another ally. That makes so much more sense. Okay, Contempt skill 4 is not the old skill 3. So if you don't have Contempt of the Gaze, then this skill 3 doesn't change. It's just that Ryoshu tenderizes an ally a little more. Okay, that's funny. That's really good. And then if we want to see this again... Kraust is gone. That's the regular skill 3 on deck. Does its deal. And then this goes for her. She uses her funny shield to redirect the bullets and does more damage. Okay, that's it. Crowd Contempt on, Yi Song can use skill 4 next turn. This is true. So the entire purpose to me, we'll just put this back on. The entire purpose to me seems to be getting Yi Song to that skill 4. And this is just a bonus. So this is a combo unit disguised as a really good Jia Huan. Okay, I fuck with it. I think that's pretty damn cool. Okay. And then this is just extra. This is just like the hidden, or like the... This is the red herring skill, which I'm a little disappointed with, but whatever, it's fine. I don't know, I feel like I would kind of prefer it to be more useful, but whatever. Oh, this is the wrong track, whoops. Full stop office from the hood. Full stop off. No, full stop office is the full stop office from the hood. This is full stop office from like the corpos. Dude. She's really good at using E.G.O equipment, yeah. There's about as much synergy between the two, isn't there? Both have weird, funky status effects they need. All right, what do you guys think? I might just go through and do like one more fight against the Backshot brothers in Limbus and then call it. The count though, just think of the count. Both her S1 skill 2 are literally just count besides her support. Full stop with their magic. Yeah. Tremor count, bleed count. They are just count. You are right. Let's see. Team killing won't change with one more skill 1 from Ryoshu for me. Maybe, but it's like insurance, right? You like that. You like insurance. There's notorious Contempt of the Gaze is needed to use skill 4. There might be another skill 4 that she eventually gets, which would be really funny. If we can get that. Is there anything else here? Weird that his SP is just normal ass. We might be able to imply numbers, but I won't worry about it. Frey S32 for me is AoE tremor conversion. It might have good damage while through good statuses. You have a good point. Oh, that would trigger amplitude conversion to tremor hemorrhage. Wait, okay. Without Yi Song, this could be a really good bleed/tremor support unit with the skill 3-2. I'm not gonna lie, that feels kind of like copium, but it's fine. Is this the first character with a skill 4? It's the first character, I believe, that applies the skill 4 to another unit, I'd say. I don't think so. She's not a charge ID though. That's fine. But okay, you know what? Let's just have some fun. Let's have some quick fun. We can talk about the unit a little bit more, but then I'll call it. It doesn't need to be too much. Return. Let's take a quick trip. We're gonna go on a field trip and fight the Backshot brothers real quick. Yep. Okay, we'll go in there. I'll just use a regular ass Rupture team. We can just get, you know, a good memory. Hong Lu needs to be added in. Here, let's get him on Lord status. Doot. This is all the more so we can make sure that we read into it pretty well. I have not updated my Rupture team in a hot minute. Let's see. Is that what I want you on? We'll go Sea Branch because screw it, why not? We'll go Chicken Man because screw it, why not? We'll go with these because screw it, why not? I think that's everything. Actually no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm already at 7. Nice. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sure. You sloshing Ishmael? Yeah. Except with this team. Sloshmail's a good tank. I like Clash lose ID tanks. Damn homie up? Yeah, Kamui. I always get up for these new IDs. This is the first time I'm streaming, though. I thought it'd be fun to try it out and see how it works. Why not using Sloshing Ishi? Because I want Family Hierarch. This is more to just read into it. Let's take a look at passives and see what we can infer. There's no ego corrosion. They're just better at it, I guess. Oh, is the Limbus audio playing? I don't think it is. Hold up. Yeah, it's not. Properties. Let's just move that to Limbus audio. Cool. That should... No, it's still not doing it. Why? Properties. Onto Stream Deck. Properties. Urimbus Company, right? That's better. Okay. Okay, let's see. My little brother's hand I let slip. Okay, this has got to be the daughter, just based on what we saw for, based on what we saw for Ryoshu, huh? Okay. On hit against an enemy, inflict 1 gaze. This is pretty standard stuff. We can probably assume this is going to be less than 10%, but it might be. Sloshishi for passive, but I want to just, you know, have her in. It's fine. Grasp. Oh, 2 grasp defensive skill. Yeah. Gain 10 bind. That actually makes a lot of sense. Max attunement. Attunement doesn't seem to factor in for the ID. Lose 10 HP and SP. Similar effect. Doesn't seem to be important here. Skincare is getting the fairy ID. I kind of hope it's Dawn, actually. That'd be really funny. And then just in case, let's just take a look at N-Corp Gubo. Uses a special pattern. Dedicate yourself. Fix panic. Whatever. Frontline, Sigil Shattered Bullet, Bullet Drenched with the Blood of a Comrade. So the skill 4 is kind of like this, except it's not Unfocused Volley. So we might get up to 5 attack weight. Because if we look back over at Yi Song, the target readjustment fire, you can't see it now, but the original one had 2 attack weight by default, because it needed to. But it could get up to 4. This one, I would assume, because it's meant to be a skill 4 and upgraded, might get up to 5, because you could get up to 3. It's going to be at least 4, it might be as much as 5. I hope it's not Unfocused Volley, because that would really nerf it. Is it Rodion's birthday tomorrow? It actually is, you're right, 9/9. So let's see. Bleed and Sinking, again, it's really just bleed if memory serves. Double check. Yeah, it's just going to inflict bleed, but it's also more for damage, so not much to worry about there. Clashable counter, nothing really worth wondering about. And he'll drop SP. And then these guys, just because we might get them for Dawn. Poison Bleed, it's a bleed build. There might be Paralyzed. I'm just going to win rate it for fun and see how that works, because we've got upgraded units ever since these guys were released. You know, just more fun that way. Good. But I want to see how this applies. Let's just see if this goes anywhere. Oh, right! That procs the guard. I forgot about that. Looks like 4 max, including Ryoshu from the vid. Oh, that's a good point. They would show that in the trailer, wouldn't they? Yi-Song isn't a triple status ID? Yeah. From what I've seen, the skill 4 is pretty much identical, except he doesn't have an on-kill conditional anymore due to Ryoshu. I assume the ATW will be the same. You're probably right, Kamui. It's just more so, I imagine it does more damage, and you don't have to kill an ally, which is pretty big for them. What happened to Regret Faust? I don't know what happened to Regret Faust. She's just not there. She's not on the team. We're doing Mao. We're doing Mao shit today. That's fine. You guys can get your funny little statuses. Thank you, Dawn. Is there anything special I can proc here? Because I doubt he's going to die from win rating. We use Regret Faust or Tremor instead of Mao Faust? But this isn't a Tremor team, though. This is a Rupture team, my dude. We ain't doing Tremor here. I do agree that that Regret Faust would be good for Tremor. Okay, so new report. We cannot confirm that units have gotten power crept enough to just win rate. I think I actually have to play the game. Big shock, I know. All right, let's actually play the game. You're not using your big special funny moves yet, so we can just focus you down with actual attacks. Answer me Heisho packs, because we want to get you down, and we want to get you down. These guys, I could care less about. Gregor, let's just have you win with a favored. This one's going to be unfocused volley. We'll get 4 attacks on you just for the hell of it. And there we go. That's enough. That's enough. Back in the day, Slosh was all that we had? Yeah. We have to play the game and read the abilities? That's a censored word. We don't want to say that here. I didn't mean to leave the struggling on. I guess I didn't read. Rip. Oh well. You got 2 Heishos? Congratulations. Alright. How many coins is this one gonna get? That's 1? Oh, that's a juicy one. 2, 3, 4. Nice. And then 5, 6. 5, 6. Juicy that. Struggling's not hopeless. You are correct. That's very true. No one needs to get heads in this economy. Oh, he's actually close to a stagger threshy, ain't he? That's nice. Oh, right, it gains attack weight. That's fine. We can hit them. And then where's the unfocused volley going? Not bad. That's not bad. I do kind of want to let some attacks go off, though, just for the fun of it. Alright, let's see. These are not unbreakable coins, so I will let this one go off for the hell of it. Contempt Unleashed. We'll let that go off. And we'll just attack these 2 on the side. 5 and 2. That's fine. That's fine. I will just let these go through. Target fixed, I assume, not Honglu. It'll raise the stagger threshold, which I guess is kind of like Tremor. We'll just take care of the others for now. And then I'll just have some fun and kill the allies before they can. I think that'd be kind of silly. We're just having a nice little time, just juicing them. How's the bug for the rest of y'all? I thankfully did not get any issues loading the game with the bug, so nice. Woof. Thought this was kit studying. We finished studying the kit. I'm just attacking the, I'm just doing the fight. Oh, whoops. I'm just doing the fight just to see if there's anything we missed, and so we can see the moves go off, because we already talked about mostly everything. We're just letting the actual moves come through. Damn, Tails Gaming. To see if there's anything more to gleam. But it feels like that's everything up to now, right? It seems like it. Almost a stagger. Okay, here's what we might be able to expect. I mean, we already have Yi Song, but still. Deals a lot of damage. I'm seeing it spread across units. Juicy. This is the Contempt Awe Unleashed. I mean, it's nice damage, I guess. Yeah, I really don't think that's gonna be much special here. I'll even let them get 1 more win rate through before I just, like, finish them off. Worth 500 lunacy? Yeah. Here, let's get our freebie. Will it stagger? Doesn't look like it. That's fine. Okay. So yeah, I think the skill 3-2, unless anyone has anything else to say about it, isn't going to be all that special. I think it's just going to be there to help with, I don't know, something nice. Some nice attack weight. I'm kind of wondering if we could do without it, and if it's just there for, like, shock and awe value, you know? I don't know, does anyone have any thoughts? I'm genuinely curious. I'm really wondering now. Hi, thanks for that. In any other team, I get heads more consistently. Skill 3-2 is just if you somehow build enough tremor and bleed. I guess that's nice, yeah. Don't mind me, I'm just readjusting. I guess that's nice. I don't know, man. It does not feel that important. Alright, let's off these guys now. You can do whatever you want, I don't particularly care. Dominate on this. This is a major skill. Can I get a skill 3 going on this? I can. No, I can't. I'm too slow. Oh, no. He's going to look at me faster than I can chase him. What do I have to do? This one... I actually do need to get someone faster. Neutral is fine, and then we'll just throw these up. Yeah, backshot bros, we can just Hammer down. Oh shit, Dante slow them? Nah. I don't want to spend one of my Dorantes on this. We're fighting Guba and Fraudrum for fun. Because I wanted to see if fighting them would give us any other insight on either Yi Song or Ryoshu, but it doesn't look like we're getting too much. Other than a nice little Easter egg on the first passive, because that could imply that we're talking about a passive from Ryoshu's child. But no, beyond that, I think that's it. Which is fine. Volatile ego attunement, really not important. Wild that this is still an unfocused volley hit. Little guy seemed to dodge it effectively, though. Good on him. Let's see. S32 can buff herself next turn to cash out with maybe huge attack weight ego in the future. Next Kanto? Maybe next Kanto. I don't know, man. It's possible. I mean, there's always negative space, right? There's always negative space for future upgrades. It just kind of feels like copium. But I could be wrong. I very much could be wrong. Hi, Amy. We're having a good time. We're nearly done analyzing the ego. I feel like maybe S32 upgrades in the future. The parallel between Broadhan brother and Ryo's child? Yeah, I think so. Although the brother might be Hong Lu, it could also just refer to the original Xiaohuan, you know? Thank you, gnomes. You're not on shield mode yet. Let's just, no, dude. Get out of there. There we go. We'll favor this. I'll let this go off because I'm pretty sure he's just gonna stop soon. Oh, it's unopposed. Oh, so you're just attacking Sinclair? Oh, you're attacking Greg. I don't mind you attacking Greg. That's fine. We'll dominate that, and then the rest of you guys... here, Sinclair. Have some flesh. Have some juicy, juicy blood. And then throw these out. Unfocused volley. That should be enough. I want an angry Frey? Angry Frey happens. We might actually be getting Frey merch soon, by the way. Like, this is something that happened recently. That could be really cool. Like, this month, even. But TBD, TBD. We'll see. Human Binding Single Gear sounds cool. I think that'd be fun. I'm just wondering if we can get, like, anything for Nelly. No, more to the topic, though. I kind of wished we got more from the shield. I think what's interesting is that the Contempt shield could very well be what Gubo used back in Kanto 8. So that'd be nice. It's kind of sad that they're trying to rush the Kanto. Here's the thing about that. We can take a second to, like... That's cute. We can take a second to, like, win rate our way through. No, actually, fuck you, Everlasting. We can win rate our way through and, like, talk about that. So, like, aside, thoughts on... Wait. Frey shot, thoughts on Tremor branching off from other sin affinities? I think that's what every single, I think eventually every status is going to do that a little bit. I think that's more just, like, Ryoshu doing her own thing and us going for the setup. But I understand that... So think about it like this. As far as rushing the new Kanto goes, the gap between Season 4 and Season 5, and the gap between Season 5 and Season 6 was 7 months. That is the longest gap we've had between seasons to date. Similarly, the gap between Season 6 and the projected release date of Season 7 is also 7 months, which matches up with being the longest. So, I can understand them wanting to stay on track with that. Personally, I think they should delay it. If it means we get a Refraction Railway and that, based on the reports, Walpurgis doesn't just have a drop but it has an actual story and event, I would prefer that. I would prefer they not rush it. But I kind of get it just because of deadlines and because they're having to deal with Arkanites. It's frustrating. I think people would love to have Kanto 9, but personally, I would want them to delay it. I hope Kim Ji-hoon goes back on his choice and delays it, because he's been pretty good as far as progress reports are up to now. That being said, we've gleaned, I feel, all we can out of the EIDs, and I think that I've got everything I need to start making a video to break it down. So, thank you very much for everyone for coming in. I think final thoughts on the ID. are that it's meant to be a good combo tool with Yi Song, so that these two are better than the sum of their parts. Because Yi Song's skill 3, honestly a little underwhelming. Her skill 3 too, honestly a little underwhelming, but I think together they're going to be greater as a whole. I'm very curious to see what the numbers turn out to be, because she could do a lot of damage against a single unit, while Yi Song does a lot of damage against an enemy unit. But besides that, I think it's just more fun to get a new kind of extra tremor, and she could be good for like more tremor and bleed builds. I think there's a lot to splash in, and that we should focus on seeing more. Like, we'll expect more to come through, and that's about it. I'll get on making the video today. Expect that to come out tonight. And thanks for popping in, guys. This is meant to very much be a very small tide over until the main thing comes out. Y'all have a great rest of your day. I hope your Mondays or whatever time of day is going well for you. Power through, y'all. Laters.